I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. What the F happened to our son? The parents of Mingo Devin Allen suspects foul play. Let me read my copyright disclaimer and then we're going to jump into this demonstration. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. I will drop this link, and if the parents of Mingo would like to join me on the panel, please feel free to join me on the panel. Now, we need to share this demonstration out because the parents need for us all on social media to help make this case go viral. They've made a video and they've said the only reason why they've made this video is because they need for this story to go viral. They need immediate attention. So make sure if you have a Facebook page, make sure you share this demonstration on your Facebook. If you have a YouTube or any other social media platforms, please share the demonstration. Let's hear what his parents has to say.
Good morning, everyone. So we are doing this video because we need answers. This was really our last resort. It's something we did not want to do. We did not want to have to come to social media, but Birmingham Police Department is giving us no other choice. So our oldest son, Mingo Demont Allen II, they claim was found hanging from a tree in Birmingham, Alabama, found hanging from a tree. So we have done all of the proper protocol, and this was back in April. So we have submitted the open records request that they recently just denied, which is why we're having to make this video right now. Also, the other thing is the detective, dealing with the detective, dealing with the police department, making requests to the mayor's office. It has gone nowhere. We keep getting the runaround. We referred the case even to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, which is our State Bureau of Investigations, and yet they still chose to stonewall even them. So we know that something is wrong, and we want to figure it out. So the only I think what is the most crazy thing about this is that our son was missing. And I'll let my husband elaborate more on that because he was more a part of that firsthand than I was because I was at work at the time. But our son was missing. And when I think it was like the next day, we received a call from the coroner's office and we had to actually identify his body. So at that moment, they had a picture and I asked, could we see his body? Because like the case number, they had like the plaque over his neck on the case number. And I was like, well, we were just so confused and so distraught at the time. So needless to say, the very next day, unbeknownst to us, his body was released to his spouse. And when it was released, our son was cremated. So this is what we have of our son. And it was mailed to us by a third party, which we are grateful for. But this has been traumatizing. It has been a lot. And we just want answers. So they said that our son died suicide by hanging. And so if he did indeed die by suicide, which there was a note, if he did die by suicide, then we just wanted to understand why, because then that would make us advocates for, suicide prevention or whatever. They've been giving us the runaround, so we don't know what's going on right now. And we just want answers.
And this is, I know the Birmingham Police Department, this is a case number to y'all. This is our child.
Yep.
He was a grown man, but this is our child.
Yes.
It's people that love him. He has a daughter. He has family. He has friends. And the lack of empathy, the pushback, the lack of consideration. I'm at this place with it at this point. I don't want to talk to the mayor's office. Tried that.
They didn't contact us back.
I don't want to talk to the police department.
They had a sergeant from the police department call us instead of the mayor. But go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
This is a closed case, and from everybody I've spoken with, open records should be given to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's facts. I'm going to come back to the dad and the mom. But that's facts. And we see this. We've been seeing this same play being ran on us for hundreds of years. It's the same old thing. Okay, it was a suicide. Okay, he did this or she did that. But however, when the family, they're just asking for closure. As the mom said, if he hung himself, then that's going to be something that we have to live with. However, there are questions that we have, and as the family members, we have a right. We have a right for these questions to be answered. Wait, did I hear him well? Was he cremated? Yes. Yes. And I mean, come on, y'all. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out why his body was cremated. You can't do an autopsy on a body that doesn't exist. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So that goes out the window. And they have been doing this. We're talking about Alabama. They have been doing this for years, for hundreds of years. They report it as a suicide. They report it as a hanging. It's a suicide. But then they cover things up. Let me get back to Mom Dukes. All right, Pee Wee. I see you, Pee Wee. I'll send it to you. My bad, y'all.
We can't have them as their parents. We referred this to Aaliyah,
Alabama Law Enforcement Agency.
and it took them a couple of months to get the case. And then when they got it, they're telling them no. So if this is such an open and shut case, why can't nobody see what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what happened. We will never stop.
Never,
ever stop. I want to know what happened, and I want all of this information given to Aaliyah today.
And we already have a special agent assigned. Birmingham Police Department is not cooperating with him. Like I stated just a few minutes before, when I reached out to the mayor's office, the first lady who took my information, apparently, she told me to call, that somebody would contact me within 14 days. I decided to follow up, me being me, and I called back, and they had no record of my phone call. So the other lady actually took down my information, and then that evening, I received a call around between 6:30 and 7 o'clock at night from a sergeant at the police department. It almost was like they were trying to intimidate us to stop, and I'm not going to stop.
And the crazy part about it is they insult our intelligence and told us we can't have the open records because we're not next to kin. But when they needed somebody to identify the body, we were next to kin then.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing games with us. I don't know what was done. I do not know what somebody didn't do.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing anybody. But what I am saying is somebody is going to tell us what happened. And over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to do videos telling how we've been treated throughout this whole process, so y'all can see what we have been through since April. I have literally been chasing my son.
Let me tap into my chat and see what my chat got to say. Unfortunately, the spouse had the right to cremate the body or do as they wish. She should have given the parents the opportunity to lay their son to rest. So sad, and that's facts. And by law, the wife has that right. So listen up, everybody that's married or anybody that's thinking about getting married. Make sure you have a will. Make sure you have in writing if something happens to you, because if in a situation like this, the parents, they on the blind side. Now, I won't know until, we hear about the wife, but we don't know if the wife had anything to do with this. We can no longer give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, that's where I'm at with this. Why wouldn't the wife? Why would the wife just exclude the family out of his homegoing arrangements? That would be something that I'm sure that the wife should have been like, let me check with his parents to see what they want to be done with his remains. I smell a rat, y'all, and I got to keep it in its proper perspective. Until it's proven, I smell a rat. This is becoming outrageous. Like, what is going on? Wait, we all know what's going on. Shaking my head. That's facts. Wait, weren't they supposed to ask the family before they cremated him? Jesus. Well, the wife, and by law, I'm not sure about Alabama, but I'm pretty sure that by law, the wife has the say so, the spouse. So if you're married, you might want to check, because we've seen this play so many times. How are you not next to kin when the parents, they birthed him? Facts. Shaking my head. I still don't get it, dear Shari. His entire family was included. And of course, she's going to come with her side. And I'm not going to, give my opinion because she might have a legitimate side. But, she's going to have her side on why she didn't get the parents involved. Right. Why wouldn't she allow his parents to be involved? Oh, so this lady is not the bio mother, am I right? Now, this is the biological mother and the father. This is his mother and father. But the wife got to say so. Why would the wife just cremate me? Sounds like life insurance involved to me. Hello, Pee-wee. Come on now. Something ain't right about the eyes. The wife has first say so even here in Alabama. I see you, Justice. I see you.
Our son, since April 2nd, it will be October next week. This is crazy.
It's crazy.
So that's all we have to say for right now. Birmingham Police Department Homicide Division, do us right.
And the detective, we found out that he was with the homicide division while we were identifying his body. They had him, and nobody even contacted us from the Birmingham Police Department. The detective actually contacted me because I called and left 2 messages, and that was over the course of the weekend. And our son, by the time he called us, our son had already been cremated, and his spouse had already left the city. So I'm just saying, we need to know what happened. And we need to know now. Y'all, please help us. We need your help. Please spread this, share this, y'all. Please, we need help.
So this case is from April. The case is from April of this year. Okay, Mr. Shank, thank you. Is this a new case? Did another kid get fell hanging from a tree? This case is from April of this year. Sounds fishy. Why would the wife just cremate that man without letting his parents or parent know? That's facts, Pee-wee. You better check her mother and father because I'm like Shank, I smell a rat. So they don't talk to the daughter-in-law. Hopefully, I reached out to Mom, Dukes, and Pops. Hopefully, they'll come over here and join us on the panel. I'll drop the link, and all you have to do, Mom, Dukes, and Pops, all you would have to do is click on that blue StreamYard link that I dropped in the chat, and then you could come up on the panel. Let me go and check my DMs to see if they responded to any of my message. Oh, hell no. Is the wife involved? You cremate him and leave. Come on, Latasha. Come on now. You got to prove me wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll accept it. But that wife It don't seem right. It just don't. And like I said, she gonna have her side. She's going, but this, but that. Woo dee woo 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 woo. Right. I don't care if I don't talk to the mother and father. There is no way I would have not let them have a say so in his land to rest. That's facts, Mary. I think they've done a part 2 and a part 3 to this. Let me tap in and see, y'all. Because I think this just part 1. Let me see. Before I go to it. Let's see, y'all. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it is. It's 2 more parts. Let me grab the other 2 parts for y'all. Give me 1 second. Appreciate this super sticker, Mary. I think this part 2 right here, y'all.
What I do want to also say is that I don't know why on TikTok it's not allowing the video to be shared. Somebody reached out to me. And that share button is no longer there. So please, we appreciate everybody and all the love and all the comments and the likes and everything and the reposts. And we thank everybody on every platform that we put it on. Now, just to clarify, as far as people were asking about why, him being cremated. What happened was the last day that we spoke with his wife was the day that we identified his body. We've not heard from, seen, or anything since. So he was actually cremated. The body was turned over to her and he was cremated. The next thing is the bag that you saw of his were a partial bag that came from someone else. We've already, and we know who the person is, who the source is, and it is a reliable source. So the third thing is, as far as an attorney, yes, we have actually reached out to attorneys, but because the case was ruled suicide, then they couldn't help us. That is the reason why we were requesting his records to see and to get, the State Bureau of Investigations in on the case, which they are, so that they could get those documents to see if his death was ruled properly. So I hope that clears things up. We'll be still coming on here and telling y'all, the story and what happened.
So I'm gonna just tell you very briefly how I found out. I text my son. He didn't text me back. He always texts me back. I woke up the next morning. He still hadn't texted me back. I thought, well, okay, maybe he's busy. So by lunchtime, he hadn't contacted me back. So I called him. And when I called, someone answered his phone. And I said, can I speak to Mingo? And they said, this is Mingo's phone. I said, who is this? And that person was his wife. And she just basically said that he didn't come home. And there's some details in there I don't really want to get into, just they're very personal details. So I told her, well, if he didn't come home, is that common? No. So I said, well, did you call the police? She was like, no. I was like, well, hang up and call the police. So I hung up and called my wife. She was at work out of town. And she said, you go over there so you can be there when she give the police police report. Well, I was actually there when she gave the police report, and I don't want to say any details what she said. Then they told us that, okay, they had found him. We're like, what? I was excited. So they gave her address. She sent me the address. She got to the address before me, and he wasn't there. So we ended up going to a couple of more locations. To answer your question, he was not at any of those locations. So that day kind of wind down. It was a very long day, a very, very long, stressful day, like one of the hardest days of my life because I just knew we would find him. And then me and my wife, we met up when she got back in town, and we just sat in the car and we just consoled each other. I mean, this is
Unbelievable.
our first child. Our first child is like missing. This ain't real. We're gonna find him. We're gonna find him. That's the fate we had. But then my wife, said, "Hey, let's go to this area over there where he lives, and let's see. Let's just go over there." She had never, she hadn't been in that area since he moved, and she says there's a park near here. I'm like, I don't know,
because that's where he would normally go. He loves being outdoors.
So we rode around. We found the park. Lo and behold, my wife like pulling this park. So we pulled in that park. When we got in that park, I'm jumping out the car. I'm running around. I'm like calling his name, thinking he's there. Well, y'all, the ironic thing is, that's the park he was found in the day before, and we have never been in that park before.
Yep.
Never set a foot in that park. So the next morning, we got a call from Irondale Police Department that said, "You guys come on back down. Y'all need to fill out the missing person report," because we stopped the first one because we thought he was located.
And we were going to be on the news.
Yes, we was going to go on. We knew a contact that was going to help us get on the news. Well, so when we're sitting there in Irondale, we're filling it out. The person said, "Let me go get the approval from my supervisor." When he came back, we were getting ready to sign it, and my wife's phone rang, and it was the coroner's office, and they said, "We have found a John Doe, and we need y'all to come identify." I bet y'all are asking, how did the coroner know y'all? Well, the coroner said because he had on his employment jacket, his work jacket, he called around in the area and found a place that had the name on his jacket, and sure enough, he spoke to someone at the job and said, "Hey, have you do you have anything going on with any of your employees?" He said, "Yeah, I got a guy that hadn't shown up for work, and ironically his parents came up here looking for him." And then he gave him our phone number, and that's how we ended up at the coroner's office.
And we'll do some more parts on this, y'all. We just don't want to.
Wow, y'all, it's another part. Give me a second while I upload the picture of 30-year-old Mingo Jr. Give me 1 second, y'all, so I could give y'all a face with it. Wow. So wow. That's all I'm going to say for right now is wow. Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to upload his picture. I smell foul play. I smell foul play. And usually when I smell foul play, all right, this is a picture of 30-year-old Mingo Detman Allen. Give me 1 second while I upload part 3.
Okay, y'all. So we are now going to talk about our ride from the Irondale Police Department to the coroner's office. And so it was very difficult because we knew we were going to the coroner's office. So I had and excuse the background noise, y'all, we're at a park. We just feel like this is the right place, the most peaceful place for us to tell this so we can kind of stay calm. So forgive the background noise. But anyway, I felt really literally like I had to throw up because of the just the feeling of me knowing that this could possibly be our son. So we're riding, on the freeway and almost in kind of a quiet stillness, but also trying to have small talk just to keep ourselves occupied so we're not filled with the anxiety that I know I felt. And so as we get to downtown Birmingham, and because I had to Google where the coroner's office was. So we get to downtown Birmingham and we're riding on this street. And when I tell y'all, I don't even know how to explain to you the anxiety that I was feeling, the anxiousness that I was feeling in that moment. And so, as like I said, as we're riding down the street, we find a parking space on the backside of it. We have to walk all the way around because they are moving their building. When we get around to the doorway, we didn't know what to do. So it was a doorbell. I think it was a doorbell for us to ring. Y'all don't quote me on that because I can't remember exactly. But anyway, needless to say, these two ladies were coming up. They let us in. This was the longest hallway I had ever seen, it felt like. I told them that we were coming there to identify a body, so they led us where we needed to go and took us to that office. When we got to that office, um, we were greeted by the coroner. And we went in, and it was like, y'all, it's old school because they're moving buildings. So we walk into kind of like this boardroom looking thing where they have this old school wooden table, these old school leather chairs, and we sit down. He comes in and there's a folder in his hand, and in the folder, he goes in to take out this paper, but he didn't realize that I actually saw the picture of our son. And so I was just, my heart fell in my stomach. And so he explained to us that there had been a John Doe found, went through the whole little spiel, and said they wanted us to identify whether this was our son or not. So as he opened the folder and we saw our son laying deceased on the table, not of course not his entire body, but they only had him like from the chest up, and they had the plaque with his case number across this part of his neck. And so, and the way his eyes looked, y'all, they were kind of like closed. When he was a little boy and people heard his feelings, he would like do this cry, and he looked like he had been crying. That's how his eyes looked to me, like he had been crying.
Can I get
And
everybody to
he
throw up
told
some
us,
prayer hands?
that he would give us a moment, and I let Mingo, of course, tell his side, but I told him, he said he would give us a moment
Mm,
to just look. Then I saw my baby.
mm.
Um, and so I had so many questions, and so anyway, I let Mingo tell his part of what happened because yeah, I need to get myself together.
So when we got to this hospital, it looked like an abandoned hospital.
Mm-hmm.
The coroner's office was still in the old hospital because they had built a new one next door. And I remember going down that hallway. It just reminded me of an '80s film where the lights looked like they're flickering. I mean, my heart was about to thump out my chest. And like Karen said, the coroner greeted us. He sat us in the boardroom. Well, whereas Karen saw the picture, I didn't. So they slid the folder over to me, and I remember opening that folder, and I felt like my life just left my body. I was like, "This is my boy, this is my guy, this is my best friend." I was telling myself the whole time, it's gonna be the wrong person. This ain't gonna be him. We gonna say, "Oh no, that's not our son." It was him, and as Karen said, he looked like he had been crying, and I felt weak as a father. I felt weak as a man because no matter what I know how to do or who I know, it couldn't help him. And just the thought that he went through this by himself, I didn't even know if I would be able to do this video, but it's necessary. It's necessary because Deuce deserves that.
Yes.
So when after we got the folder, and I explained to the coroner my account of what happened to me to that day, how we ended up there, he said, "Hold on, I'll be right back."
There's another part. I'm going to get to that other part. Once again, if mom and dad, if y'all are watching, and if you would like to join me on my panel, just click on this blue StreamYard link and join me on my panel. Make sure we hashtag justice for Mingo, Dedmon, Allen, and make sure we are sharing this out because we have to help Mom Dukes and Pops. They need our help. And they came to social media. And the least that we can do is help by helping this story go viral. My 6 years of covering these kind of cases, I know that once these cases go viral, that's when, because see, the attention will be put on the police department. The attention, the spotlight will be shined on those officials down there in Alabama, and that's going to force them. It's going to force them to hand over everything that the parents are asking for. As long as they're not under the microscope, as long as there's no attention on them, then they're going to just drag their foot. They're going to drag their feet. So please, y'all, let's share this live out. Let me get to the other part of this.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had to get myself together. So Mingo could finish. Okay.
Warren said, hold on. I left the room. He came back, and me and Karen just looking at each other. We crying. We falling out. Everything you think we would be doing, we were doing while he was gone. He came back in. We still was going through all of our emotions. He gave me this card, and I flipped the card over, and on the back of the card, it had a case number, and it had a detective's name, and then the card said, Homicide Division. And I looked at Karen, and I said, Homicide Division? And she looked at me, and then so we kind of asked the coroner. He said, just call this number. And so we left, y'all. It was just that cut and dry. I mean, we wanted to see his body. They wouldn't let us see his body. They wouldn't let us take a picture of the photo. We don't know if you can't do that in Alabama. We don't know. We left there confused, broken, and mad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, family. Wow. Let me see if it's.
I am not speaking to you.
I'm talking to you.
To you, all of you.
Video. Give me a minute, everybody. This is a parent's worst nightmare. Okay, so for right now, that's all the videos that they have put up. But like I said, as soon as anything new come out, I will share with y'all. And hopefully the mom and dad, Mr. Mingo and Miss Karen, hopefully we can get them to pull up over here with us and share some more information with us. Valerie says, OMG, this is hard. I know this feeling. Tasha says, why a homicide detective if it was a suicide? That's facts. You call it a homicide because it was a homicide. That's why. Make sure we hashtag injustice for Mingo, Dedmon, Allen. Why a homicide detective if it was suicide? I see you, Leslie. I don't know what they doing up there in Birmingham, that part of Alabama, but they can't refuse to let you see your son's body. They shouldn't have had that right unless somebody told them not to. That's facts. That's facts. And when it's a hanging, it's always a cover-up. Now, take it for granted, some people do commit suicide by hanging. And as Mom Duke said, if that's what the case is, present it to us, give us what we're asking for so we'll feel comfortable and we can rest assured, okay, that meant he did commit suicide. Let's move on. However, if they're not giving the mom and dad what they need for closure, they have that right. I see you, Tammy. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Arius One. I appreciate you. Everything they did was wrong. It's sad, y'all. the year 2025, with all this technology, with everything that we've went through, and it seemed like we're still in the early 1900s. It just seemed like we're still in the Jim Crow era. And that's why you'll hear people say Jim Crow still exists, because these were the type of things that happened to us under the Jim Crow law. And all they done was just find ways to get around it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, don't get it wrong. Birmingham, there's a rough place. The sheriff just got on social media saying something, or they had to do something about all the killings called the Red Rumming. I mean, how do you, and you know, looks can be deceiving, but why is it always the good ones? Why is it always the men and women that's trying to make a change, that's doing the right thing? So damn if we do, damn if we don't. We can't win in the streets. If we in the street life, we can't win. If we in corporate America, we can't win. If we in the entertainment business, we can't win. The athletes can't win. They are depopulating us and covering up what they are doing, modern day slavery. We can't win. We go for education. We can't win. We get discriminated against. Same way things were back in the days. Same way that things were back in the days. So all those young men hanging themselves. Mm, mm. Another sad case, y'all. Let me see what else I could find. I'm his wife says that's what I'm saying. We're going to tap into a little of the memorial service for Mr. Mingo Dedman Allen II. That's what I'm saying. This like the third young man found hanging from a tree. And it's we don't get justice. It's always a cover up. Yes, sharing is caring. But let's tap into a little bit of the memorial service that they had for him.
I always know that spirit is always with us. And that's why we can laugh and smile, and his brothers and family can smile, we say certain things about it. Because we know that we gonna have a bright life. And Mingo was in that short little time that we got a chance to meet him, Mingo was family to us that you love. And we're gonna honor him and we're gonna miss him. We're gonna always remember him. And we thank you. Amen. Now we'll hear from Trey, Capital League Advisor.
Good afternoon. So much has already been said, and this family and I go back, I want to say it's 2011, I think it was when we first moved in 2012. And Mingo, that was the name of our captain. And of course, his father came through our alumni chapter, AP, and he was saying, Trey, my son's from the county. All the sons, I got you. And I remember my first introduction was coming up and said, you're Mr. Trey. He said, you're French. He said, but you know, I'm French. And what made Mingo so special to me is his leadership, his charisma, his smarts. David talked about how he fixed his bow tie. I think he might have fixed mine before he fixed his. He said, Mr. Trey, yeah, you can take it off and just tie back. And he was confident, and I think I have two other stories to tell you all. It would be nothing for me, just to show them my partner with Portland and Curry, and be like, hey, we're here for capital practice, we're here for stroke practice, Mr. Trey. I got you. And you don't get the stroke like 10 times. Y'all doing it.
It's mind-boggling, you know, like I see you, Kimberly. I don't believe that if they did, why always in public? Leslie, right. I've never heard of a suicide being done in public because somebody can stop you. This is my whole thing, especially by hanging. You're gonna take your life. You know, if you do it in public, you know a strong possibility somebody gonna see you doing it and stop you before you even, do it. Then even if you do it, there's a strong possibility somebody could see you, somebody could be walking by, or somebody could be just looking and see you and come and stop it. So that wouldn't be a good idea. Who does that? I'm going to commit suicide by hanging, and I'm going to do it in public. Right. That's what I'm saying. And most college students, they not bettering themselves to take themselves out, like make it make sense. That's facts. And that's the young man that had his arms and legs broke. Facts. Who authorized the cremation? The wife? The wife authorized the cremation. Why didn't the wife notify the parents? Like I said, she has her side. And we pretty much already know she's gonna give a complete different story. I couldn't get in touch with them, or they wasn't around. And regardless of what a child relationship with his or her parents, regardless of what the relationship was, when that child passes away, the parents should be notified. I believe that both parents should be notified. Now, it's going to be up to the parents to decide whether or not they attend the funeral, if they want to have anything to do with the death. But see, we get things so twisted. We get it twisted all the time. Well, it ain't like they was on good terms. Don't make a difference if they was on good terms or not. That's still their child. And you don't know why. You don't know why. As parents and children, they ain't on good terms. So you always gotta be careful. Because you might be with your wife. It might be your wife. And your wife Let's say, oh, I don't fool with my dad no more. I don't fool with my mom no more. My dad did this. My mom did that. Naturally, you're gonna go with what your wife say. Vice versa, if you're a husband. Why you don't mess with your father? I don't fool with my father no more because of this. I don't fool with my mother because of this. You not knowing, you going off of what your spouse tells you. That's why I tell everybody, it's very important to not take the words of somebody when they talk about somebody else. Find out on your own. I apologize, Mr. Shank. I had it all mixed up. Nah, you good, Shari. I see you, Bridget. She can't say that because the father had talked to her before the coroner called them facts. So that's ruled out. That's ruled out. I see you, Noah Talks. I'm late. I don't know the story here listening. Backtrack it, Noah Talks, if you can, okay? Catch it on the replay. Was the spouse white? I'm not sure about the spouse, y'all. My opinion, something may be up with the wifey. Just saying. That's where I'm at. The wifey is suspect. And if the wifey is watching, you can pull up on the panel and address it. But in my opinion, wifey is suspect. And that's a question. Was she white? Like I said, I'm not sure. I see you, April. But I smell foul play. The big question is how they hanging themselves and ain't nothing found around them to indicate they hung themselves. Now, Mom Dukes, his mom did say that there was a letter. There was a letter. She didn't say, what the letter contained. Let me see if they responded to any of my DMs, and let me see if they put anything new up. So I don't see any new videos that they made. Didn't get no DMs. Let me see, y'all. I'm just saying how many black people that actually kills themselves. That's facts. That's facts. By hanging? Nah. I ain't saying we won't take our lives and we don't take, but by hanging, nah. Now maybe in prison, but on the streets, a college kid, nah. I see you, Bridget. This makes me so angry. The wife suspect, the department suspect, the coroner suspect. Yeah, they found a letter, but how did he get up there? Was there anything found around him that he can stand on is what I'm asking. That's facts. I'm his wife. I'm with you. I'm with you. But as close as his father said they were, it seems like he would have talked to his father. That's facts. Not but hanging, nah. They claim Trey Reed had a note. And that's all Mom Dukes and Pops is asking. They're just asking for certain things. If you say my son committed suicide, that'll be something that we'll have to live with. But why is this? Why is that? Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday seems just as relevant as it was 95 years ago. bother the wife and coroner. Both the wife and coroner are suspect in my eyes. Miss Parker, yep. Everybody need to go to jail, directly to jail. This Trey Reed, okay, I'm familiar. No, this not Trey Reed, nor talks. This is, we're talking about 30-year-old Mingo Detman Allen. His hanging was months before Trey Reed. His hanging took place in April. Okay, black body hanging, strange fruits. Okay, wow, yes. So I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I see you, Shanique. I see you, Positive Vibes. So I'll leave the chat running. And as soon as I get some more information on this story, I'll update you all on it. I see you, Positive Vibes. Once again, I'm hoping that I could get Mingo's parents to pull up on the panel with me. I see you, Robin. Let me check. I got some DMs that came through. Let me see, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to watch the replay. This is horrible and getting out of hand. That's facts. All right, y'all. Still nothing back from the parents. So as soon as I get some more information, I will come back and update you all. I'll see everybody back at 10:30 for Nazaria Harris demonstration. Salute everybody. I'll see y'all back at 10:30.